Shall we start? Maybe when he comes, he can join us. Meanwhile, we can hold the discussion. Başlayalım mı sizin için uygunsa? Okay, welcome everyone. My name is Arzu Yilmaz. I'm an associate professor at University of Kurdistan, Hevler. There's no question, I guess. Everyone agrees that yesterday it was a quite historic day. And also there's no question, I guess, Kurdish question to a large extent shaped the Kurdish both domestic and foreign policy. And thus, we have the right to expect some change in both domestic and foreign policy orientation of Turkey in time, in future, hopefully in near future. So we are so lucky to answer the question of what sort of a change may take place in Turkish domestic and foreign policy after Abdullah Öcalan's call yesterday. We have the representative of CHP, Mr. Oğuz Kaan, who is the former deputy chairman of the party. We will have Mehmet Emin Ekmen, who is also deputy president of DEVA party, but also a member of the parliament from DEVA. Abdurrahman, welcome. He is the former member of Parliament, Justice and Development Party, AKP. And we have Cengiz, Çandar. Yes, finally, we have Mehmet Emin Ekmen. Please. We always complain about Kurdish timing in Kurdistan, but it seems like Turkish timing is not also better than Kurdish timing, right?
At the same time, Jahapa in the last next elections outlined that who will be the candidate for Turkish president, and now in the past the Kurdish voters was very good, was impactful for Jahapa. The message from yesterday, and Imam Oğlu has started preparing, is that the yesterday event will have an impact on Jahapa voters. Do you think Jahapa have any plans, future plans? Because Jahapa members are concerned about those issues. Are you? Do you have any preparation for this? And if it's appropriate, at that time, since the Kurdish issue has risen, is Jahapa responsible? If it's, do you think it has any responsibility? What's its new policy toward this issue? You have 10 minutes for every panelist. 10 minutes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Today is the anniversary of Yashar Kemal's death, who is very much loved among the Kurds. Because we talk about Jahapa's reaction, and it's a social democratic party. It's the party that Mustafa Ataturk established when the Kurdish issue was risen, when there was Sahapa before Jahapa, because of the military coup, the coups, all the party names were changed, and the first was sensitive toward Kurdish issue. In 2013 and 2015, when the peace process first started, JHP was its leader. Its leader was Kılıçdaroğlu. Recep Tayyip Erdogan was the prime minister. They asked to solve the issue in parliament, and he said if this process and the important topic guaranteed, so the subject is the parliament was not happen, or didn't happen because of JHP, didn't happen, and at the end the outcome was more violence. But today JHP is the first party in Turkey which has controlled most of the municipalities of Turkey, and on the other side we see the door open for JHP to go forward, but we see the doors are closed in its face today or yesterday when Öcalan asked for PPKK to lay down its arm. We think it's an important step, but it's politics. But I think the era is gone where the arms struggles finished. I hope they lay down their arms and start a new phase. And the prolong of this process is democratizations. The fate of 84 million people of Turkey are impacted by this decision. Today, let's ask: is the election will have an impact on this? A few months ago, fortune teller was arrested by Turkish media, announced that the fortune teller talked about some politicians, Turkish, and this shows that Turkey should go forward. It needs more. And a few days ago, one of the mayors, local mayors, were arrested, and another mayor where a trustee was appointed. And when I was at Erbil, Beykoz mayor was arrested, who was the member of a party. Again, the mayor of Beşiktaş was arrested. All those are related to all those issues that you talked about. So we need to increase the standard of democratization in Turkey. The Turkish issue or Kurdish issue in Turkey is JHP has a different program before or compared before, or is just should democratization process happen in Turkey? Will Kurdish issue be solved? When we talk about the increased standard of democratizations in Turkey, Atatürk quotes that we talk about that we see the same. The rights of minorities or components are important, and individual rights are important. That's why the rights of civilians and the standard of freedom and freedom of speech and democracy and peace should increase. We say, we say democracy and peace or not. If there's democracy, there will be peace. It's possible democracy starts with lay down the arms, and then peace will come. But if democracy doesn't come, peace is not enough. So, for example, we have the problem of presidential system. JHP believe parliament system is much more better, and we should president system should end and go back to parliament system when it started since 2017. And you talked about Kurdish issue. If you start in 1980, it was a military coup. After the military coup, democracy was removed. All the parties were shut down. Sahapa, same party, was a ruling party. Goes through difficulties along with its allies. Jahab, in any situation, try to implement democracy, go to better place. In east and west of Turkey, when the voters going back to Jahapa, it's Jahapa's policy. Right now in Turkey, there's a system. We rebuild the democracy system, and we say democracy, peacefulness is needed. Turkey will be rich. Politics to open its door on politics. For example, education mother tongue. How do you see? Do you see it as a right? Right now, directly in our program, or the party's program, no, there's nothing. But identity and mother tongue is a honor of each person, individual, because all the obstacles should go. One of the obstacles are removed is democracy. The Kurds should be allowed to use their mother language, and all those are done by unified front. Yes, Jahapa is a political party. I'm clear. It's against federalism. Against any other types of management or administration. But as you said, the culture ways, there should be more for freedom of expression. I want to repeat it again. When you see Turkey right now, we see a lot of people are imprisoned. But for Jahapa, in the election campaign, there's a date. When will the election? Is it 2028 or earlier? Well, how Jahapa approaches elections? I want to ask a question. What are the values that Jahapa? You outline the election policies. After beside the Turkish democracy, what promises does it have or will do? If I recommend leave what promise to Kurds do. What promise we say? We don't see the North Kurds live in Istanbul, Izmir. So we should say all Turkey. Even today there was a report was released that one of the third of Kurds live in Western Turkey. It's this society integrated with each other, so that's why we open our arms to everyone. Those citizens who are unhappy against democracy, the same people in Izmir have the same. There was a question that Jahapa in the last few years we waited to have a project, peace process or Kurdish question, but is there anything like that? But you talk about candidate Imamoglu for president, become a president candidate. Those vision he does is not in my. I don't have information like that, but Jahapa, we could say what they can do in Kurdish issue. Welcome, Mr. Ekmen. Is it appropriate to ask? Because as a voter, I am asking. President Erdogan said the opposition will be designed again. Because in reality, as a voter, I have concern for. Is the opposition have the same concern too? What about yesterday's statement from Öcalan? What do you say about it? In Turkey, there's a saying. Those who, if they are suspicion about the praying ritual, they won't have suspect of the praying as well, or they won't have suspicion of the praying. So if we don't talk about it, we think we as the party we don't say there's something like that. The AK Party, some from within AK Party, there's possibility, and there's among concern among AKP as well, because the position of the all parties are different. And yesterday's statement is a very important message. Turkish state in the past, with along with Erdogan, had 13 times called for PKK to lay down arms, but nothing had happened. But it's possible we could, and we could use the Oslo agreement as the base of this. But today, none of Turkey. It's not unlike the 13 meetings or the others like Philippines or other countries. We don't see any example like similar to that. If you get it from the Devlet Bahçeli speech, and which is a nationalist party, the 22nd of October, and then later 5th of November, and if I'm not mistaken, more than 100 of visits and meetings happen in Imrali and exchange views. On Friday we expected more reaction, but they changed it, put it forward to Thursday. Look how it ended. But talking about such a project, the subject of peace process and Kurdish solution among political parties, is there a clear sentence or aim for this solution? Yes, MHP and AKP started this process, but I'm asking, ask them later about and PKK, what stand PKK will have. But your party or other parties, if if the PKK lay down their arms, people and uh, will have more freedom. Is there a way for solution for Kurdish solution? And how do you look at the individual rights and general rights? Thank you. This message was and the impact of Kurdish politics. It's a positive. It has made a positive atmosphere. But however, talking about this process won't be easy, or talk about that PKK or DAM party. What step will be taken? But now the step is such that it's a big step, but you have to wait for the result as well. And Kurdish question, there should be freedom of expression, education, mother tongue. All for all obstacles should be removed. Our party has some plans who could, in the context of, is one of the most wide range of plan that talks about the rights and after 18 months we published our program. We've talked about our views on those topics. I say that Mr. Ali Babajan, our president, in most of his speech, he talked about the importance of solving Kurdish issue and those talking about those steps. That's important. But after those steps, after PKK became such a destabilizing force, now Öcalan, who established the group, calling them to lay down the arms, and our president has called for the same thing. But our official stand is that now we can go to a new phase in Turkey. Now, as like before, the politicians who assess this topic are hopeful, are positive, but at the same time look at the steps taken by who. Right now, if you say the change happened, or the constitution is amended, I feel in those change, I see DEF party and on Kurdish issue hasn't taken any steps that's mentionable for regarding this issue. Is DEF party has any red lines? We've gone away from about the changes in the constitution, because those who want to change constitution reject the constitutional court's decision. Now they've even talking about the court should be shut down. And this impossibility made that we cannot come closer to each other. And it's just Mr. Nu'man Kurtulmuş, the former parliament speaker, or Turkish parliament speaker, hasn't announced any ideas or program. It's just met with the parties, and now we see a Turkish authority in Turkey that's very different. And this message from Öcalan, who talked about hope and the right of hope. If there was, if somebody else talked about, might have been arrested. I always say one of the topics should be careful, because sometimes when we say the truth opinion, but maybe the Kemalists use it against us, and the authorities use it against us. Now, in parliament, there should be 200 you should have 200 seats to present a draft law. The AKP can do it in parliament. Now our recommendation is won't go far that want, because we might lose hope of recommending such a way, because we cannot collect 200 MP signatures to support our draft laws. As you say, AKP brought 10 articles and add some articles and made some amendments, and made it like that the opposition couldn't resist. Do you know what? Electing someone in a tricky way, one accept that, but in the last election we saw it that for the next when Mr. Erdogan was elected, this is the second time we put the case forward to the court, but if this one, because I wasn't against. I talked about with the JHAP members to make an effort. Yes. In 2023, the same thing. Because of the change of the system, they said it was just one time. We put it in court, the results, but all of the time, according legally, we always talk about the scenarios for future is two scenarios. One is AKP, the ruling party, agree on the re-election, the early election. Another scenario is the inside the parliament, the case outline. Also, Mr. Erdogan wants to be re-elected once again. In my opinion, maybe there's maybe in the next 18 months there will be early election. There's a possibility. Before the discussion, before listening to Blunt Orange, I want to ask you a question. But I remind me of 2013 when they asked after the peace process, what PKK will do, or PKK fighters will do. Bilin Orange. He said, let's let them go to hell. Is there a change in this language? How do you see it? What and right now there's the opportunity everyone agreed on. How to grab this opportunity because others think differently. They say what's model of solution they have? Is it nationalist or is it general right or individual rights? In this framework, from yesterday, if you tell us what the impact of yesterday events, especially the change of language in Turkish politics. Thank you very much. Turn to your answering question. I'm a former MP of AKP. I'm not a representative of AKP. I don't have that post or position. I'm just I give my personal opinion. I'll say that's why I said I'm not a representative of AKP. Regarding your question, the first, yes, it's a hot topic or hot discussion. It was very good. But the discussion, the type of discussion that happened, I don't see it as healthy or right. The position of AKP since 2002, I am with this policy, especially with the Kurdish question. I look at it as a human vision or human angle. I'm an engineer myself. If there's a harmony and there should be a solution. A lot of times we have talked about the Kurdish solution in an Islamic way. You look at the state through the eyes of state is another thing, but this process we've written a lot about it. Yes, we talked about a lot, and there's always changes seen in this regard. AKP at that time had presented a good opportunity for the country because at that time, if you remember, AKP when it came into power talked about solving the Kurdish issue, and at the time you couldn't even change a letter in the laws. But when AKP came, they changed a lot of things. When AKP came, Kurds had existing problem, but now Kurds AKP changed it to Kurdish rights, to change it to Kurdish language. In 2005, Mr. President Erdogan released a program, was very important, and talked about how the right of civilian will impact this issue. In that program, there was a lot of meaningful things. When AKP take that dangerous road, risky road, was targeted a lot. For example, uh, uh, Kurdish nationalist is the outcome of a Turkish nationalist. Turkish, the person of Turkish nationalist in return of a Kurdish nationalist. With Mr. Oğuz Kaan, was the beginning we knew early. I saw he is not someone who's been seen, and then later I knew him. I knew it's not the someone that talk about outside about him personally and about his party, like a party like DEVA. You cannot talk about it. Sun and the Moose. Sunday and the Moose. I don't know. You are aware of that? Yes. I came from the street in the last 20 years under the AKP rule. I'll talk about it later. Please allow me to finish my. You see, Qayyum or appointed trustees being appointed instead of Kurdish. Let me ask. Yes, you don't talk on behalf of AKP. I don't have a lot of the position, or I could have said. As a Kurd in Diyarbakir, you have office. According to your experience, you have, because there's potential of practical statement. What is the first legal step should be taken in your opinion? In truth, most of my life I spent inside AKP, and you cannot solve this issue in the frame of a nationalist framework. Erdogan, in 12th of August, gave a speech, was very famous speech. He said, those states cannot tackle the internal issues, cannot become a strong state. Colleagues in this country, we see in a long time a lot of big crimes happened. Yes, big crimes happened. In 1920, continue. AKP confronted all of them. For example, I'm asking, they ask, why don't you vote for AKP? In Germany, they ask, why? They give examples, what they have done, what they have. There was protests, gatherings. AKP should answer those questions. But DEVA confronted what they have confronted so far? Nothing. Another sentence says the cleansing of ethnic cleansing is not a solution. Let's be realistic. Yes, there's violations. We cannot deny it. Without a taboo, there's still risk, and there's violation. And now the Kurds, the things that happen in Kurdistan is clear. Me, as a Muslim, as a lawyer. It's true. You say you cannot have my program. Rejection is not a solution. We should have active steps for it. But what those legal steps? No. Let me. I'll talk about it. If you question, what you are waiting for? What I'm waiting for in Turkey, nationalism is very high, because Recep Tayyip Erdogan, when it came on power, he's been against it. The complexity and the tensions that happen has blown up in some parts, and the nationalism feeling has increased. This feeling has to be rebuilt, and then because if you go through those way, you'll lose power. But I'm talking about the time when he came from power. When at that time they implemented they cannot work now. Look at when you look at the Ocalan, and you have to investigate and research about those steps that have been taken. Is it appropriate for today's politics? Why? Because related to the time. If it's not appropriate and there's no preparations or understanding, it will come out empty. So that's why, if there's a problem with the timing, there should be efforts to have a rebuild, to have a good diplomacy language, and get your power through the election or ballot box. Okay, from this vision, if Abdurrahman didn't release the statement, the Kurds, will the Kurds will have done the same? Yes. The weapon always throws out, spreads poisons, because we see it has had an influence, a big influence on the other country, like Lebanon. Any ethnic comes out in the street with the weapons will cause problems, and will the country will lose its unification, and the society will have a role. None of us is not are forced to look the same. That's why the decision should be taken far from weapons and far from military forces and the use of army. And if you use military solution, then the change will go in a worst scenario as possible, and go far away from peace. Yes, today, with the mother tongue education, there's education in the university, there's Kurdology department. All those are made by AKP. One of those topics. At the time when even a few years ago, even even a little to change, but we change a lot in political process. The Ozal, the late Ozal, look at Mr. Bayram's here. Our colleagues that knows they didn't give up. There's people. Uh, there's 50 years there in this process. They are not tired of having an outcome. You say, do you think those who did good were the Kurds? If the ballot box is the target, I say the ballot box should be used in a good way. We have good ability in research and searching is important for us. Those who are done is important because with violence we cannot achieve anything. Whatever you do, sometimes you won't get any outcome if you don't have a general agreement. We should have a general agreement so we can build trust. That's why we normalize the situation without anyone being pushed out. So thank you very much. Mr. Cengiz Çandar, welcome once again. Mr. Abdurrahman talked about, he said, if there's a peace, the Kurds will do, and if the Kurds, the responsibility will be put on the DEM party, or from yesterday even. Is it DEM party or other Kurdish parties? And it was the DEM party participated in all the discussions. Pervin Buldan and Sani Surya under, and we and that the solution should be within to be in parliament, not outside parliament. I want to ask the question as a member of parliament, DEM party in Diyarbakir. The efforts to shut down or close down the party and appointing government trustee instead of mayors, local mayors. What happened? Those issues. And my last question. I didn't get, unfortunately, I didn't get the answer from Mr. Abdurrahman. What should the legal response be to the yesterday Öcalan's message? What's the DEM party's vision for those? And another question is, the solution should be based on which model? And what's DEM party's policy on this regard? There's been a long time. We have not seen. I haven't been in this positive discussion on hot topics. And thank you for all. Me, as in this panel, was decided. The deputy of co-chairman was present, but he had some health issue, and I came instead of him. Kagsilian Roshalati made me to sit here. There's possibility doesn't represent DEM party policies. That's why I say it from the start. member MP of DEM party. Yes, that's true. However, it's you could it could be used. The opinions I express shouldn't be simplified as DEM party policies. Let's go to the question. Yesterday, Öcalan's message. There's talk that the legal steps are what after the message. And those who are in the parliament said, and they should not forget that for democratic politics, there should be some measures are not in the context of Öcalan's message, and even though in the text doesn't exist, but yes, it's true. Öcalan and the Turkish state knows that. It's a way we understand, or the way we understand. If we talk about we have to base our answer based on three answers, three options. The event that exists now, or the situation that is the change of imprisonment law should be changed. Those prisoners who have health issue should be freed, and then the PKK lay down their arms, and then what should PKK framework become? Here we talk about Kandil. Kandil is inside KRG. Let's say tomorrow, after tomorrow, PKK no more. 100,000 of PKK fighters in this land. What happened to them? They live here, they sleep here. What's the status will be? Which country they will become citizen of? So the PKK thing, because there should be a legal hub or center, a representative to Turkish government should take the step for this a committee to look after this issue. So and this means if you look at all the statement and the armed struggle is has ended. The organization, any organization that an organization who so far in its livelihood has done armed struggle says no more. Which word, which expression? And from the armed struggle to comes into democratic struggle. How this legal framework works? Let me say a point too on this regard. This message not because DEM party says that it was a historic message. It's not a DEM party, but it was a historical. Those who are Turkey, who have done armed struggle since 1984 on behalf of Kurdish issue, the source of the was born as a the struggle was born out of Kurdish issue. In the morning, Buland Orange, former Turkish parliament speaker, is one of the better parties to talk about this issue legally. Even him, he says, we have our Kurdish brothers, and we have the terrorists. He doesn't say Kurd. He does say, he says we have another other issues. Yes, the state, Turkey, PKK sees as a PKK or names PKK as terrorists, but I've never said that. But this is a Kurdish struggle since the start of armed struggle or the establishment of Turkish state since 2000, since the Sheikh Abdul Salam and then Dersim and then Süleyman Demirel when he was Turkish president. Had 29 Kurdish revolution, said PKK is the last revolution, but PKK is the longest struggle, Kurdish struggle, and his speech and its demands are different, and it has not ended. The Öcalan statement has historical context. You see, the last point is that call the PKK struggle as the longest struggle. Now, Dawlat Baghchali, who started the process, says thousands of years Kurdish Turkish brotherhood still exists and we will rebuild it, and he says peace. Doesn't need to who's the winner, because in peace everyone is the winner. In that context, yesterday statement was very important. In Turkey, the PKK cannot say we are lost, and the state cannot say they are lost, because they have not lost. They are continuing. That's why the first time in the Turkish state history, the Kurds end its own struggle. From now, I don't want to say you are because of Dem Party MP, but because you've written a lot of books regarding this issue. If is it possible to change it to another model, so the solution, Kurdish solution, have a long time peace solution? Before responding to the question, I want to say Öcalan's statement had two important points. One, without a doubt, was the last initiative from the state. If we look at it, the relationship between Kurd and Kurd, more than 100,000 years does exist. Kurds and Turk and Kurds always existed, together confronted the oppressors' forces, and are forced to be on Allah. From this sentence, we see there's a force statement, and that's why this one. Those who work on it call on the armed groups to have a convention and lay down their arms. I'll say voluntarily for that. That's why we say this. And the solution is a democratic way, in a democratic framework, and from that we can talk about it. That's that Turkey can, until reaches democratic standard, it won't achieve any goals, especially in terms of Kurdish cause. And as we see it, as we say, with the understanding we have reached is the weapons have any result. We talk about my time is very short. I want to ask once again, you as Cengiz Çandar, if today or tomorrow remove the MP rights regarding this issue, do you have a trust? No. Thank you very much. Our attendees, if you are able to, our panelists. And we'll take some questions. سرتا دەتوانن خۆتان بناسێنن دواتر پرسیارەکە بکەن. Welcome. My question is Mr. Abdurrahman. Sure. Are you a Kurd or T or a Kurd? My question. You talked about an issue. So the question, I'm a language teacher. You talked about an issue. You talked about if the Erdogan is appropriate that Erdogan today implement. I'm answering no. I want to talk to Erdogan. I used to love him. When I see him on TV, I used to praise him because as a Muslim he was very good to Kurd. But then later he changed a lot. No, it doesn't allow Kurdish language or Kurdish doesn't release Kurdish prisoners. And the Ergenekon era is finished. Snora. uh, or taking the question, please. I thought the answer was yeah. Good afternoon, Nuri Bekhali, journalist. Thanks for Rudao Media Network for this organizing this forum. Regarding Öcalan's statement, I believe it's been a few times has called for ceasefire, but the state has not had a practical response toward those calls. After this latest initiative talked about the abolition of PKK and lay down the arms, how could the state build trust among the Kurdish population? And second point is, don't you think there should be a third party to monitor the process, so the process should succeed? And should be as a general. Don't you think there should be a third party to monitor the process? And third point, after Turkish state, is there an awareness among Turkish society to welcome this initiative? Because Turkish individual, I don't see. I don't think Turkish individual are ready for welcoming Kurds. سپاسدانەکەم ئەگەر پرسیارەکانتان کورد بکەن و ڕاستەو خۆش بێت. سێم پرسیار خۆت بناسێنە اینجا پرسیارەکە بێ زەحمەت. Hello, welcome. I'm very happy that we are here. I just want to ask a question from our colleague in Jahapa, and he said he believed in mother tongue, but in its party's program there doesn't exist a right for mother tongue language. The other guy from Akapa doesn't accept the Kurds to have a right. We live in the 21st century. The basic right, the most basic right is self-determination and the right of individual. Your question, please. When Turkey it's a big regional force, Turkey, and it's a partner of EU. Don't you think change the mentality of Turkish society? Because Turkish people have a society, should have the right for self-determination. That's my question. Thank you very much. من البك عربي قساكم. من ستزعلوشم. يا تور كنت قساكم.
چونکە هێزێک هەیە لە سووریا پێمان وایە کە پرۆسەی ئاشتی لە تورکیا پێویستە کە کاریگەری لەسەر دۆخی باکووری سووریا بێت وەکو کورد وەکو ناوچەکان دیکەش. پرسیارەکەی من ئەوەیە چۆن ئەم پرۆسەیە کاریگەری لەسەر باکووری سووریا دەبێت بە تایبەتی دانوستاندەکانی نێوان جەنرال مەزلوم و ئەحمە شەرع. ئەم پرسیارە بۆ کام بوو بۆ هەر کامیان بێت؟ زۆر سپاس. پێم وایە یەک پرسیاری دیکەمان دەبێت، دەتوانین یەک پرسیاری دیکە وەربگرین چونکە کاتمان هەیە، دەتوانن یارمەتیم بدەن تکایە.
I want to ask the question regarding my question is that we know that PKK is the outcome of in 1961 constitution. It says talked about Turkish Kurdish rights. What JHP is responsible or flees the responsibility? And regarding AKP position, I want to ask him, as known, Mr. Muhammad Emin, who participated in our workshop. We talked about two topics, one culturally and the mother tongue language. Is what AKP has done, or what's its policy, AKP's policy toward? Yes, Muslim Kobani, it had a statement, said the PKK issue doesn't relate to us. Is that true, or it's another issue? Another question, because good afternoon. My question regarding Kurdish problem. There's always a message, traditional message, especially the nationalist wave that believe that this wave doesn't end, and this JHP says will be outside the process. This is the peace process. Will JHP stay outside the process, or what they will do in this policy? هەموو هەروەکو ڕیزبەندەکە وەڵامەکان وەرگرین. There's two questions that been for you. One, it was about the wave of what JHP is and where is situated in this process, as we say, as you know, all the guests have 5 minutes. It's possible, if there's a possible process, they should have its name. But the thing we have, we don't know. Dev Party and AKP, there wasn't anything. We knew this would be a message. In general, there was a process, but the party, went to Imrali, and there were meetings. But we want to look at it positively. We want to believe it. However, the process doesn't have its one name. There's a not a table for talk to say where we are located in the table. The thing I understand that JHAPA and this topic is there a responsibility of JHAPA and this process besides the government. JHAPA as an opposition was the main opposition. The thing JHAPA is will stay outside the process or go into it. We don't flee from responsibility. We don't have any effort. But the question is, why Erdogan doesn't speak? Who runs Turkish state? Erdogan runs Turkish state. I want to know what's his position. Do you know? Mr. Erdogan, how does he look at it? What AKP's position on this process? What about the opposition? I know. I say the authorities, the ruling parties. We know the Devlet Bahçeli. Devlet Bahçeli is clear. The party we see the opposition. But what about the authorities? We don't know. In the previous processes, I said, JHAPA does have a specific policy instead of authority as an opposition, apart from the authorities. Yes. Yeah. I am a politician. I know. I'll answer in the politician. JHAPA willingly, transparency has made efforts to have not any obstacles to solving Kurdish issue. When a step was taken and clarification was given, but at that time they will have a reaction. But yesterday message, that's not all. Look at the historical reaction of JHAPA, always been positive toward this issue. Please, where is Erdogan in this process? I outlined this. We know, and historically, in 1961 Constitution, there's an understanding for the last 26 years, AKP, more than 20 years, AKP ruling party as Turkish authority, ruling party. Any authorities, any problem, any process, any election, they are the number one responsibility. They are ruling the country. Now we say in the 1980 Constitution, they didn't do it. Mr. Abdurrahman Kurd said, Erdogan's speech, 2005 speech. I hope he said the same thing today, not 20 years ago. Thank you very much. The questions regarding AKP's policies, if you answer the questions, and then regarding the Syrian Kurds and Muslim Abdi issue. Thank you. We have a short time. If you respond quickly, less than 5 minutes. The issue of culture and mother tongue issue, we should say AKP party after 2002 has done a lot of things. Open Tarata Kurdi channel and establishment of Kurdish language institutes, and then Kurdish subjects We see a million Kurdish children exist, and we see the number of school classes and teachers are not a lot. We could say one of the topics is red line, but Mr. President always had criticism and worked on what. Now the process is in a way in the last 6-7 years the Kurdish rights has changed to in most of the topics or issues Erdogan with Bakhchali, if you want to call you for your rights, if you don't get your rights, there will be intensive fighting. And we talk about the general rights. Talk about the government style, or the government system. This focus on government system is because that means those steps are taken by Kurds. Is that possible? AKP will have opposition steps in legal ways. And another way, we shouldn't have a third party. If PKK respond positively and give its arms to another party from other parties, in a special, it could be a third party, not as a not a mediator, but as a special case. They could use the third party country. And I believe that the process in Syria is going along nicely between Ahmed Shara and Mazlum Kobani. I see it as a positive step, especially the efforts done by Mazlum Abdi regarding saying that the SDF will abandon its arms. Mr. Abdurrahman, I think you said your speech, and let me see how do you see this message or this process impact Rojava or Syrian Kurdistan? I will answer the lady. It's sensitive. Mr. Erdogan in 2002 until 2013, a lot of times this process were targeted a lot and attacked a lot, and we were together. Rocks that were thrown at him. Yes, a lot of people think it changed a lot. This issue, a lot of people had reacted differently. Yes, Mr. Emin said a beautiful thing. Erdogan has a very special. If you continue to on your course, it's possible they'll succeed. Was Terata Kurdi was half an hour Kurdish language, now became 6 hours, and then became a channel it became a 24-hour channel. I'll say so. You still can't love him. Third party, I say it's a weak alternative. The issue of Muslim Abdi, Salah Muslim had a statement. He said, if the situation is correct, they will lay down the arm. That's important. This is very important. The Syrian government should have an inclusive government and inclusive steps. It should be for all. If that is done, a solution is a real possibility. What about the third party and Syrian Kurdistan? When we started this panel, as information, Umar Chalik gave a statement. AKP spokesperson, PKK terror group, PYD, YPG, its wings in Syria, SDF, all should lay down theirs. Muslim Abdi said that's not related to us. Salah Muslim said the same thing. Said welcome the statement. Now, AKP spokesperson 1 hour ago gave a clarification explaining. Let me tell you. The first day of the panel, I said this mission or process with the Turkey that does now exist talks with Öcalan. If the third party is US, if US cannot go to Syria, if US withdraw, Turkish soldiers will go to those places. Muslim Abdi and SDF. Among himself and Amashar, if there's an agreement, that's another topic. Thank you very much for all of you. On behalf of myself and Ruda, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time.